you just mentioned Dolly's sort of literal magnificence and the way she's contributed to the public good. My sister used to live in a pretty low-income county in southwestern Pennsylvania where a lot of kids were eligible for her Imagination Library program. And just, although she doesn't particularly care for Dolly Parton's music or persona or anything, could not stop saying good things about how wonderful the Imagination Library is, not just in the idea, but in its execution and the selection of books and how it was run and the impact it had on the kids in Fayette County, Pennsylvania. So it's the type of thing where there's not only, great announcements and great PR work, but also, really happy kids in places you don't think about necessarily very often.
So you contrasted Dolly with other sort of potentially magnificent people, although less magnificent in various ways. Do you want to talk about that contrast and are there other people who are equally magnificent or similarly magnificent who you can think of?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Because I think people like the Carnegies with their libraries and the Rockefellers, I guess you could sort of lump like Bill Gates and so forth in this kind of category. They do spend money lavishly, great wealth, but it tends not to be very specific. I mean, it like the grants tend to be sort of amorphous, and then they obviously commit certain injustices with their wealth that the magnificence can't quite make up for. I think this is at work in Aristotle too. I think when he's sort of explaining what real spending for the public good in a beautiful way would look like, he is sort of thinking about wealthy Athenians who don't live very well and commit great injustices. But there's a sort of a way in which he's teasing them with the possibility of the kind of great reputation that magnificence would give you. So Dolly is both a good person and a good spender in this way. And she, like as Pete was saying, like she's very, very good, not just like writing a check to some amorphous public good project thing, but just finding this very, very specific way to intervene in people's lives. The books are well chosen. They're creative for this Imagination Library. It's not like, oh, can we give the kids an extra test to figure out, how to get them more literate or whatever. It's like, here's some nice books, which is actually just very specific and very kind and thoughtful.
It's concrete. Like you can't really imagine Dolly. I don't know whether Dolly's ever been to Davos, but I can't really picture Dolly at Davos, and I can't picture her using her wealth towards something like, I don't know, the world. Like you can't really picture Dolly and Klaus Schwab in the same room. And although it would be kind of fun to see them in the same room, she doesn't seem to be trying to shape society in according to a personal vision or she doesn't seem to be trying to get people to be, to adopt, I guess, her values, except that she kind of does by creating these songs that are lovable and that sort of describe good things in a lovable way, or sad things in a way that evokes sadness. So there's a kind of accuracy in her songwriting that I feel like is kind of shaping of the public conscience in a way, but she doesn't do the massaging of society thing that the Rockefeller Brothers Foundation tends to.
No, that's a really good point. Because she's not trying to make something happen, but try to give a gift. But knowing that only like the right gift will work, which is just so perfectly Aristotelian.